Hi, I'm Billy Gwaltney, and this is the CYA Podcast. This show is for the physician who understands the importance of protecting everything you've worked so hard to achieve. Each week, I'll bring you tips and advice to help you cut through the clutter and misinformation and show you exactly what you need to preserve your income and way of life. If you're ready to achieve the peace of mind that only financial security can bring, let's get started. Hello and welcome to this episode of the Cover Your Assets podcast. This is your host, Billy Gwaltney. As always, I'm really happy to be with you today. Today's topic is about a gender-neutral discount that is ending in the state of Massachusetts for trainees that are residents or fellows in the state of Massachusetts with one of the top true specialty disability carriers, which is Principal Financial. So in working with physicians across the country to help them secure their private specialty disability coverage, I'm regularly asked the question, what drives my rate? What determines my rate? And it's a combination of things that involve your specialty, your age, of course, as well as the state you live in when you buy the coverage and your gender. And the state of Massachusetts has had a gender neutral or unisex discount in place for a handful of years that is ending, and it's ending soon. It's imminent. Today is January 3rd of 2023. In my communication with Principal today, they said they're just awaiting approval from a group of insurance commissioners that serve their individual states. There's a group of them that will approve the new product that Principal is issuing or coming out with. And once that happens, that new product will not have gender neutral pricing or unisex rates associated with it. It'll be sex distinct. Okay. Females on average will pay more, usually 20 to 30% more than males for their disability coverage. It's not all bad news. I remind my female clients often that obviously it's more expensive. There's no getting around that typically, but life insurance for females is going to be a lot less expensive than males because you're going to outlive us by a long shot on average. And so it comes out in the wash. However, it's important to save money when you can. Our clients in Massachusetts, female clients, are generally intrigued by Emeritus and Principal, which both have gender neutral or unisex discounts for people that purchase in Massachusetts. Emeritus is keeping their discount for now. I'll come out with a podcast once that's confirmed, as they're coming out with a new product as well. But for right now, I want to discuss the Principal discount that is ending soon, usually within 30 to 60 days, maybe 90 days after it's in the hands of these insurance commissioners. And so they say imminent. When you're in this world, again, that can mean this week, it could mean March. But typically what happens is once they announce kind of the deadline, there's like an off ramp where there's a period of time where you can still secure the discount. But if you're in a series of nights or a work schedule where you just can't get to this, and you look up in April and the discount ended in March, or you look up in March and it ended in February or late January, then there's no going back. And so I wanted to get this information out to physicians that are exploring their disability coverage. If you're a female physician in Massachusetts, it would be important for you to at least consider this because it's a way to secure the best coverage with a significant discount compared to what it will be or what you would pay typically if you got the female rate. And by the best coverage, I mean it contains the key elements from a definition standpoint, because this disability coverage is all driven by contract language, okay? Which company it's with is much less important than what the contract says, okay? These contracts say three vital things. One is that it contains the true specialty own occupation definition of disability, which means two things. One, it means if an illness keeps you or an injury keeps you from doing your specialty occupation, then you're considered to be totally disabled. Number two, you can then work in another occupation and earn an unlimited income doing that occupation and not impact your disability benefit. That's a vital definition to have, and only 4 top-tier carriers have it currently that you would want to have coverage with, and Principal is one of those. Or the second key element is what's called a residual benefit, which is partial disability benefits. It pays if you can do your specialty part-time but not full-time. An injury or illness keeps you from working full-time in your occupation and you suffer a 20% or greater loss of income, then whatever that percentage loss of income is, they'll pay you that percentage of your benefit. Okay. The third key element is what's called a long-term recovery benefit. It's vital. It pays if you medically return to work after being disabled, but when you return to work, your income doesn't return to what it used to be. It doesn't bounce back, and maybe it'll never bounce back if you're not as productive as determined by whatever metrics are in place at the time you go back to work, and your income continues to suffer. This policy would continue to pay you if that happened. The principal's contract contains those. And so what that means is that it is one of the top tier contracts and would serve you well throughout your career. If you secure the coverage, again, their new policy is going to contain the true specialty definitions. It's just not going to be at this discount. It's going to be at significantly higher rates, in particular for females. If you're in the state of Massachusetts and you're a female resident or fellow, it would be highly advisable to consider looking at this before this deadline comes about. The medical screening process, which there is streamlined medical screening for their definitions for this coverage, it waives the insurance physical. It's never been this easy for a trainee. It still involves a few steps online, electronically, and can take 2 weeks to 8 weeks for the process to work its way through. Usually, when they announce this deadline, they mean that, hey, you need to have this application e-signed by this particular date, and then you'll have an extended period of time to wrap up the medical screening. But it would be advisable that if you're thinking of securing coverage, to go ahead and kind of move that up your priority list. And again, assuming you're healthy or healthy-ish, then when you go to get it, it shouldn't be a problem and you can lock in this discount. To be sure it's clear, what's important about this discount is that once you secure it, you keep it forever. Okay, so when you buy a policy, and let's say as a trainee right now, Principal will let you purchase up to $5,000 a month of coverage, but really any amount. It can be $2,500. It could be some amount less than $5,000. If you purchase it and you're medically approved, as I mentioned earlier, it would include this unisex or gender neutral discount forever. Not only on the initial purchase amount, but if you structure your policy correctly, which we help our clients do, but whoever you work with, just make sure it includes what's called a benefit update rider, which is Principal's version of the future purchase rider, or the ability to increase coverage in the future as your career expands and your income goes up and you want to have more than $5,000 or $2,500. You could their cap, depending on your specialties, anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000 per month. If you have their benefit update rider on your policy and it includes this gender neutral discount, then any increase amounts that you buy down the road would also include this gender neutral discount. Even after you've left Massachusetts, even if you don't stay in that state, even years after this discount has ended and is not available to anybody that's buying a policy new with Principal at that point, your policy would always contain that discount. It's a 30% discount if you have Principal's maximum discount. That 30% discount is off of a gender neutral rate, which means the starting point is lower than if it was off of a sex distinct rate if you're a female. What that equates to is about a 45 or 50% discount off of a non-discounted female rate. It's significant. It's worth considering. It's worth looking into and making sure that your policy is structured correctly. I hope this helps. Wanted to get this out, and happy to help and answer any additional questions you have. Feel free to text me, reach out to me, 704-270-2376. Again, 704-270-2376. And as always, I'm grateful for your time. Until we talk again, have a great rest of the day.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.